Okay, I've driven about 30 miles. Let's see if we have a miracle. Ready? Nope. I think the number one thing right now is just to see how soon I can get an appointment in Anchorage or Fairbanks. If I can't get anything soon, then I'm just gonna have to get an ice chest. Okay, problem solved. 4 bags of ice. Okay, I think I'm almost happy that neither Anchorage nor Fairbanks RV repair could get me in within the next week, really, because then I get to continue my journey the way I wanted to. Road is freaking terrible. I mean, I knew it was bad. I've heard it was bad. I read that it was bad, but I thought, I mean, you know, you always hear about the Dalton, and I thought, heck, I'm getting the Dalton. How bad can it be? This road is terrible. It never gets better. And it's just like big chunks of rock. The Dalton had like compacted clay mud a lot. There's not a lot of this. And when there is, it's really potholed. Yeah, oh my god, look at this. This road sucks. Oh, and I have like 95 miles to go. Or maybe I'm just not as patient after 830 miles on the Dalton less than a week ago I got back. Kind of like, alright, ready for some smooth road now. Something that I could go more than 15 miles per hour on. What do you think, puppy? What do you think, puppy? Sick of the bouncy roads? Are you sick of the bouncy roads? Desert. Oh my god. I'm really sad to be leaving. And part of me, I mean, I could stay, but then what? You know, I don't know. I don't think it's the right time to stay. But, ah, man, but look at this. Look at what I got to do. What a summer. And this is crazy. It looks like desert, kind of. Only, you know, a little, but the terrain looks like desert. It's just the plants that are different. But this reminds me of a view in, I guess, Arizona, maybe Utah. Yeah, look at that up there. This could totally, or Southern California even. Except that the vegetation, that's the word I'm looking for, the vegetation is different. Thank God the road is better, at least for now. Well, I found a spot for the night after my long, rough day. Just kidding, it wasn't really a rough day. But I'm just out for my stroll, and I'm gonna go in a little while and clean up. Oh my God. Fortunately, there's a big smear on my window still from washing it after the Dalton, but look at that view out my window. Well, how was that for a day in the life of a full-time RVer? Yeah, it didn't quite go as this, well, this leg of the trip hasn't gone quite the way I planned. And, you know, so I took you with me throughout the day to kind of show you one of the realities of being on the road. Some days are a little frustrating, like you saw. By the way, have I mentioned that I hate this road? But I walked you through another day in the life of another day in my life. And yeah, you know what, every day isn't, you know, frolicking through wildflowers with rainbows and unicorns. You know, I haven't really had any major issues since I bought Phoenix, so I've been really lucky. But I got to take you along with me today to show you how I troubleshoot a problem. This was, you know, not major, you know, so my refrigerator went out, but I got to show you how I was able to deal with something even when I was off grid and didn't have a cell signal. I only had to drive 40 miles to get a cell signal, had to make a couple phone calls, and just really walk you through my thought process in how I dealt with a situation on the road. And so I hope that helps to give you some inspiration and information and courage if that's something that you feel might be a little challenging for you when you're on the road, just to let you know that no matter what you're faced with out here, just take baby steps, one step at a time, like I did. I'm gonna sit down. It's a mess in here, by the way, but we'll get to that in a minute. You know, just put one foot in front of the other, and I didn't know when I left my camp this morning whether I was going to be in Anchorage today, whether I was going to be in Fairbanks. I didn't know what was going to happen, but for me, the way I like to do things is I said, okay, you know what, the very first thing I'm going to do is go and call a couple places and see if they can get me in, and that'll kind of dictate my next step. And I wasn't, you know, I don't remember how much exactly, well, why don't we recap about that thought process? So basically what happened is neither one could get me in until Monday. It's Thursday. And no, actually Anchorage didn't even tell me Monday. They were just kind of like, we're going on vacation Friday. Don't know. So I don't know what that meant. But he said, why don't you try Fairbanks? Fairbanks said Wednesday, maybe Monday, they said, and yeah, I wasn't comfortable with that, you know? So the way I looked at it is I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had 3 days, 4, maybe 5, before I could really get an appointment. So did it make sense for me to drive 100 miles back to Fairbanks, where camping is yucky because it's a city, and I'd have to buy an ice chest and buy ice and limp along for 5 days anyway, or hit the road and just continue my trip and travel those 5 days and get an appointment somewhere else? And so like I said, I mean, all it took was for me to have a plan. Okay, my first step is to make a phone call, and we'll see what happens from there. And so for a lot of you, I really like sharing this stuff with you because, you know, if you're really nervous about being on the road and really nervous about all the things that can go wrong, I hope that my process and kind of watching me go through it will just help give you the confidence that you too can deal with whatever comes your way out here. It starts with just one step. I didn't have to solve everything this morning before I left camp. I just had to take the next step. And then from there, I took the next step. And from there, I took the next step. In fact, when I got done making my phone calls and I decided, you know what, I don't want to wait for 5 days. It doesn't make any sense for me to just sit and wait for 5 days. My plan when I left that spot that I was making phone calls at was to drive to Fairbanks and get ice and get an ice chest. But I stopped at the little convenience store in Cantwell, which was right there, and they had ice, and I decided not to get a ice chest because I've got a giant ice chest, right? I mean, that's what my refrigerator is. It's an ice box. And so I decided just to get ice there and continue my trip. And so I feel really good about that. I'm actually kind of, well, I mean, if I could have gotten in today or even tomorrow morning in Fairbanks or Anchorage, that would have been okay. I probably would have done that. And it would have been just a different trip, but that's okay. And so now I have an appointment a week from today in Whitehorse. And you know, no big deal. I am still limping along, you know, having to put ice in my refrigerator. In fact, tonight I made dinner with as many of my veggies as I could. In case you're interested, what I did, I sauteed onions and garlic, and then I threw in, because I've got all this salsa, I kept buying salsa on sale and I froze it. So now I've got like 3 tubs of salsa I have to use. So I threw some salsa in there, and I had half a can of canned tomatoes left, so I threw those in there. Some sweet potatoes, I had some sweet potatoes, so I chopped up some sweet potatoes and threw those in there with some black beans. And I sauteed them all up and cooked them until the sweet potatoes were good. And then I threw in a bunch of spinach. Oh, and yellow pepper. You know, like a bell pepper. And was that it? And then I threw a couple of organic corn taco shells on top and a little bit of Daiya cheese on top, and just let it steam, and I just ate it like that. So it was kind of like a Mexican casserole. It was pretty good. But yeah, so, you know, little inconvenience. The hardest part of today was the damn road. But, you know, a couple times, like, I was getting really, really frustrated. I mean, if that's the biggest problem I have, that I have to drive 100 miles on a crappy road, hang on. Hang on. Oh, where are my shoes? If my worst problem is that I have to drive 100 miles, oh my God, on a crappy road, can you see that? To sleep here? Yeah, my life sucks. Poor me. I had to drive a crappy road today and put ice in my refrigerator. Poor me. Yeah, look at this. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Even in pictures. The tundra in the fall, it's like, I keep thinking it's like in an inverted desert. I have no idea if that makes sense at all. Because it looks like the desert, only it's got plants. And it's got fall foliage plants. Look at this. And it's got water. And I've heard people say that it is desert. I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know what that means. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you know what? If I have to deal, you know, and the refrigerator is going to cost a lot of money. I smelled ammonia. I pulled the back off when I got here to take another look at it. There is something big in a tree over there. Okay, I got to get my binoculars. I'll be right back. It's an eagle. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Oh, there we go. Wait. There you go. We got an eagle. All right, I'm going to take a still. What's up, puppy? He sits up on the bed and looks out the window waiting for me. Hi! Which way is he facing? I think he's facing this way. What you doing? No, is he looking the other way? I just want to take a million pictures of this. What you doing, bud? Come on, you want to go out? Come on. What do you think? I know you like to go outside after you eat. It's the weirdest thing every time. Huh? Yeah? But yeah, as I was saying, not a bad day all in all. I mean, yeah, I had some frustrating moments and little inconvenience. Need to deal with the refrigerator, and it's going to cost a lot of money. When I got here, I pulled the back off again just to see if I could see anything. I could smell the ammonia, which means the cooling system is shot, right? If I remember all my reading correctly, that's exactly what it means. And if I remember correctly, by the time you get the part and install a new cooling system, you might as well get a new refrigerator. So Yeah. Oh well. What are you gonna do? It's just money. But yeah, I hope that, you know, hanging out with me today to, you know, as always, I mean, you guys, as always, you guys went through a lot with me through Matilda and seeing a lot of my realities of life on the road, and every day isn't peachy keen, but, you to put one foot in front of the other and take baby steps. You don't need to figure it all out right away. Just take the next step. Just take the next step and then go from there. You know, and that's just the way life is on the road. That's just the way life is, right? I mean, you could curl up in a ball and cry, or run home with your tail between your legs and whine about how hard RV life is, or you can be a problem solver. And, you know, just go with the flow and deal with things as they come, and have confidence in yourself and be smart, and that's it. I mean, it's nothing special. I'm nobody special. Half the people out here, well, you know, I'm not going to say they're not special, but we're just average, normal, everyday people who do this. And so if we can do it, you can do it too. You know, it's just not, you know, I get so many emails from people who are afraid, and then, you know, somebody sees something that makes them afraid again, and you know, there's plenty in life to be afraid of, whether you're on the road or living in a sticks and bricks. And I've said that a million times. So it's up to you to choose whether you want to stay home and dream of a life that you could have if you just put those fears aside and, you know, dare to live, I guess, right? So let me show you inside. I'm going to show you the real challenges of when stuff goes wrong on the road. But first, look at that. Have you ever seen anything so beautiful? I don't think I have. And I get to drive here. Yeah, it's amazing. Hey, buddy, how was dinner? All right, this is the real challenge. First of all, this is pretty much what it looks like when I'm making dinner. Trying to cook in tiny spaces is really hard. Everything's out and it's a mess. But everything is also out in a mess because I had to do some rearranging. Because I didn't buy an ice chest and I didn't want water leaking all over the place, I had to empty some bins for the ice. So there's a bag of ice in my bottom. Wow, it's really cool in here. And there's a bottom of ice here, and I had this, and I had this that I had to take out of a cupboard, and I'm going to shut it real quick because I want to leave the cold air in. There's a bag of ice in the freezer, and I'm not opening the freezer. But all that meant is, you know, I usually have another bin up here, but I had to repurpose that, put ice in it. And so that this doesn't slide around, I had to put something else up there. And then I had the red bin was under here, so I had to find another bin for there. And because that wouldn't fit in the refrigerator. Yeah. So yeah, you know, a little bit of, what's it called? What's the game? Where you, remember the little square game where you have to move the blocks to make stuff? That makes no sense. I don't know. Okay. Did I say everything? I don't think this turned out like I thought it was going to turn out. This end of the day video. It's a mess in here. But that's what happens when you live in a tiny space. Cooking especially. But I'm going to get things put away. It's almost 8 o'clock already, I think. It's pretty cold outside. I only have about 55 miles left on the where am I on? The Denali Highway. So I plan on being off it tomorrow. The road did get better. I hope it stays better. That would be nice. And then, of course, we'll see what happens in Whitehorse. But I already know what's going to happen in Whitehorse. I'm going to need a new refrigerator. And I just put my stickers on. Look it. I just put my Alaska stickers on. Look. So, bummer. Okay, well, I'll see you next time. Not sure when that'll be, but definitely I will keep you in the loop what happens with the refrigerator. The refrigerator saga continues, and I'll let you know what happens. I think every RVer has had to replace the refrigerator, right? I'm not alone in this. This is what happens. Anyway, did I say everything? Oh, yeah. I know what I forgot to tell you. I hate this road. Yeah, it was a little difficult at times, but when I pulled over and took a break for a few minutes, that helped a little bit. And then just go slow again. As long as I went 15 miles an hour, it wasn't too bad. So, all right, a day in the life. I'll see you next time. What do you say, bud? Maybe we'll go see if we can get a better shot of the eagle. I think it's an eagle. What do you say? Yeah, you were shaking up a lot today too, huh? All right, let's go see the eagle. Can't wipe the grin off my face since yesterday. I don't know what's going on. I mean, my refrigerator's broken. It's going to cost a lot of money to get it fixed, and a day at least of having to deal with it. Hopefully we can get it done in a day. Crappy road yesterday that really kind of got on my nerves at times. But I feel at peace. I've been off grid a lot. Away from the internet, away from the news, feeling closer to what I came out here for. A lot of great camping out here. What to do? What a summer. I see Rock Creek. Life is good, it's beautiful, the sun is shining. My refrigerator's doing just fine with a bunch of bags of ice, although I'm going to have to clean up some water in the freezer. But the bins in the refrigerator were a great solution. And I have to use up all my produce before I cross Canada anyway. You're not allowed to take fresh produce, so I'll use it and cook it. I'll use it, and whatever I can't use, I'll cook. Apparently you're allowed to take it if it's cooked, it just can't be fresh. And it's a good thing, actually I have that appointment in, now it's 6 days, because I really needed to start getting a move on. I've been dragging my feet, dragging my tires, not wanting to leave Alaska, but I really need to. It's the 7th, September 7th, and I need to get through British Columbia before October 1st. Otherwise, they require studded tires. So this is good. I needed to get a move on. And it's cool because, look, I mean, it's extremely fall here. I'm going to be driving into fall as I go south. So I'm going to be in constant fall for the next month or so. So that'll be cool. Maybe 2 months. And I don't know. We'll see what happens when I get back down to the desert. I'm not sure how much time I'm going to spend in Arizona this year. I'm not really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Kinda, sorta. I don't know. Part of me wants to come back up here next summer. We'll see. And since I didn't really get me and Denali in the shot in Denali National Park when I thought I did, I'm going to have to do this. Denali! Beautiful, beautiful day. What a beautiful day, even with the sucky road. lulled into a false sense of smoothness from the paved area that I camped near, and I'm back to potholes and washboard. The same thing happened on the Dalton. I had to remind myself when I woke up in the morning, and it was smooth for a while, and then it got really nasty. Oh yeah, I'm on the Dalton. I need to slow down. Well, at least I'm doing 30 right now. And it seems like really the worst part so far was in the middle mile from Paxton, miles like 55 to maybe 85, 75, 85, like so 20 or 30 miles in there really bad. This isn't too bad. Washboard, some potholes, and I'm at like mile 45. And the milepost says that the first, I think 20 from Paxton are paved. So that means only about 20 more miles to go around. Da-da-da! Look at... But who cares? Look at the views. Look at these views. Back to gravel. Not too bad. I just, right before I turned on the camera, just had some teeth chattering. Washboard. I want to live out here. Like right over there. Except there aren't enough trees for firewood. That would be a problem for living in the bush by myself. Maybe not by myself, but living in the bush. You're not going to be able to hear me.